We're very fortunate to have Mr. Bianchi as our speaker today. Angelo Bianchi has written a beautiful poem, I'm an Italian American. Some of you may have heard it before, but I think every time you hear it, you will learn something new. So Mr. Bianchi, Esquire, if we can turn it over to you and ask you to please tell us about your life.
First, I want to start off by saying, that's my boy. It is a pleasure to be here today for a number of reasons. First of all, your principal speaker, his father, when I was a young law clerk in the Attorney General's office, gave me assistance. And I'll never forget that. And I did speak to him. I said, Sam, you got to help me because I'm the only Italian up there. And Sam did help me, and I'll never forget that, Jess. We've had a lot of history discussed. I am probably in a unique position in the sense of my family background. My grandfather came here, and after being tutored 2 months in English, matriculated to University of Maryland Medical School, and graduated in 1898 and was the first Italian doctor in the city of Newark. He married my grandmother, whose family came from a town called Sala Gonzalino, which is near Salerno, and she was born in this country in 1875. My grandfather, Bianchi, was a Cavaliere della Corona d'Italia, made by Victor Emmanuel, as was my mother's father, a Cavaliere della Corona d'Italia, made by Victor Emmanuel in 1911. So I had that history imbued in me. Before I get into just reading this, I just want to give you some idea why I wrote this. Just before the Second World War, Italian Americans were denigrated by the president's wife, Eleanor Roosevelt. She made a comment that these Italians are too prolific, they have too many children. But then when the war came about, well, it was wonderful to have those children because they were fodder for our services. So there is a section in my poem that deals with the response to that. We had in 1978, Joe Kosher, an Italian American Awareness Day at Seton Hall. Joe Kosher was on the panel with me. I spoke. I was at that time the state banking commissioner. And the next day or the day after, I received scurrilous epistles sent to me attacking me for having talked about the accomplishments of Italian and Italian Americans. I won't repeat what they said, but they were horrible. So I said, so we got to do something about this. I've got to do something about this. So with that in mind, I prepared what is now called I Am an Italian American. The first portion of it is to show some of the history of this country and the early dates and the contributions of Italians. And frankly, I could have written 10 pages on that. And the second portion goes to the question of discrimination against Italian Americans. And now I'm going to read what I wrote to cover these particular areas. But I gave you that background so you understand what some of the words and the purpose of these words are. I am an Italian American. My roots are deep in ancient soil, drenched by the Mediterranean sun and watered by the pure streams and snow-capped mountains. I am enriched by thousands of years of culture. My hands are those of the mason, the artist, and the man of the soil. My thoughts have been recorded in the annals of Rome, the poetry of Virgil, the creations of Dante, and the philosophy of Benedetto Croce. I am an Italian American, and from my ancient world, I first spanned the seas of the New World. I am Cristoforo Colombo. I am Giovanni Capoto, known in American history as John Cabot, discoverer of the mainland of North America. I am Americo Vespucci, who gave my name to the New World, America. First to sail the Great Lakes in 1679, founder of the territories that became the states of Illinois, colonizer of Louisiana and Arkansas, I am Enrico Tonti. I am Filippo Mazzei, friend of Thomas Jefferson, and my thesis on the equality of man was written into the Bill of Rights. I am William Parker, signer of the Declaration of Independence. An aside, there also was another signer, I don't have him here, Cesare, excuse me. He came from Delaware. I am an Italian-American. I financed a Northwest Exposition of George Rogers Clark and accompanied him through the lands that would become Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Michigan. I am Colonel Francesco Vigo. I mapped the Pacific from Mexico to Alaska and to the Philippines. I am Alessandro Malaspina. I am Giacomo Beltrami, discoverer of the source of the Mississippi River in 1823. I created the dome of the United States Capitol. They call me the Michelangelo of America. I am Constantino Brumidi. In 1904, I founded in San Francisco the Bank of Italy, known as the Bank of America today, one of the largest financial institutions in the world. I am A.P. Giannini. I am Guglielmo Marconi, the discoverer of wireless telegraphy and radio. I am the inventor of the telephone. I am Antonio Meucci of Staten Island, New York. I am Enrico Fermi, father of nuclear science in America. I am the founder of the Sisters of the Sacred Heart and the first United States citizen to be canonized a saint. I am St. Francis Xavier Cabrini. First enlisted man to win the Medal of Honor in World War II. I am John Basilone of New Jersey. I am an Italian-American. I am the million strong who served in the Army, American armies, and the tens of thousands whose names are enshrined in military cemeteries from Guadalcanal to the Rhine. I am the steelmaker in Pittsburgh, the grower in the Imperial Valley of California, the textile designer in Manhattan, the movie maker in Hollywood, the homemaker in Brentwood in 10,000 communities. I am an Italian-American without stint or reservation, loving this land as only one who understands history, its agonies, and its triumphs can love it and serve it. I will not be told that my contribution is any less, nor my role not as worthy as that of any other American. I will support and I will stand in support of the nation's freedom and promises against all foes. My heritage has dedicated me to this nation. I am proud of my full heritage and shall remain worthy of it. I am an Italian-American. And thank you. And to the staff members of this organization, of this group, I am intending to include another section to this poem, because this poem really ended after the Second World War, to deal with the accomplishments of Italian-American women in this country. And I can allude to three of them who I personally knew. Eleanor Grasso, the first female governor in the state and the country. The first Speaker of the House of Italian-American ancestry, and we all know who she is, don't we? Do we know who she is? Nancy Pelosi. And to a woman who was a dear friend of mine when I was in government and met many times, the first Italian-American to be on a ticket of a major party for the vice presidency of the United States, Jolene Ferraro. There are many more, and we hope that our ladies are no longer upset that we didn't have too many included. And Justice, again, I want to thank you for coming here, and I'll never forget your father. Thank you.